So that includes RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 Soaked and Wild. I've been working on this park for quite some time, and I think it's coming along real well. A lot of stuff isn't finished, as you can see. I haven't put trees everywhere, and a lot of the rides don't have enough detail to them, like scenery-wise. I'm just gonna show you the front half of the park. And it did say Tamriel. I based that name off of the Elder Scrolls series, but in no way is this park themed after Elder Scrolls. I just thought it sounded like a cool name for a park. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take you on a couple of my first rides that I built in this park. They're not too exciting. We'll get to the more exciting ones in a later video. I'm not going to waste my time with these small rides, like the Reese teacup thing, stuff like that. We're just going to stick with the coasters. So, right there is the Stinger, and I think we can ride this one first. Oh, and here is the Devastator, which is a stand-up coaster. So, let's get into this ride, and I'll show you it from a first-person front seat perspective. Now, during the ride, I will be telling you about my first experience with this type of coaster and reading off the facts about the first coaster I rode like this. So, the first coaster I rode like the Stinger here was called the Double Loop in Geauga County, Geauga Lake, Ohio. A little bit of history about this Double Loop was it was introduced in 1977 with an all-new white structure. One red train and one yellow train were put into operation. In the 1980s, the entire structure was painted black. Throughout the years, various cars and trains were swapped, with the now defunct corkscrew coaster at Geauga Lake also constructed by Aerodynamics. One red train and one yellow train remained the norm. 1993, the ride underwent some modernization. The track soon was painted yellow. Later on, after the years of Geauga Lake closing, it was sold for $25,000 to a steel junk plant, something like that. Yes, Geauga Lake. That was a park I grew up at, and it is no longer with us. I think the water park is still open, but I cannot remember exactly. I was young when I first rode the corkscrew. It just had two loops. Oh, I'm sorry, not the corkscrew, the double loop. It only had two loops, but it was fun. Now here we have the Devastator, and this is a stand-up coaster. I've always loved these, they're so unique. My first stand-up coaster, I believe, it had to be the Mantis in Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio. Cedar Point's gotta be my favorite park I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. I've went out of state and went to several. It's just a good time. Let's see here. Cedar Point, when it opened on May 11th, 1996, it set several stand-up roller coaster records, and first including height 145 feet, speed 60 miles per hour, and steepness 52 degrees. At first, when the ride was announced, it was going to be named Banshee. However, after some people spoke out about its negative connotations, the name was changed to Mantis. Yeah, that ride isn't too long. My Devastator here, but I thought it was cool for a first ride. I really need to give these rides a station, like a roof and stuff, but we'll get to that later. Like I said, this park is nowhere near finished, so we're gonna head over all the way back towards the entrance here. I'll show you a little bit of this again. And we're gonna head past the entrance in the opposite direction. Hold on. Messing with the controls here. Oh, I got these little places to sit down. I thought those were cool. All these pop-ups. Yeah, I guess I can show you a little more before we go to the next ride. We got the little garden there. A little place to eat right here. I enjoy making these little buildings. There's benches and stuff in there. After you get your food, you can go eat. And we have the gardens here. Just a nice place to walk through. Now, if we go back up the opposite direction, and we have a log flum ride. Now, my first log flume ride had to have been in Geauga Lake, and I think it was called the Pepsi Plunge, but I think it went through a ton of name changes over the years. I don't really remember it too much, but I know there was one in Cedar Point that was a canoe instead of a log, and it was called Whitewater Landing. As part of the frontier town area of Cedar Point, Whitewater Landing embraced an Appalachian River ride theme. The revolving station featured boats alongside a rustic warehouse before they turned along the edge of the lagoon and approached the ride's first lift. A conveyor that gently elevated the canoes through a mine shaft and splashed them into a faster section of the river. A few quick turns along the rapids and the canoes approached the second lift, which raised riders to the treetops at a height of 50 feet. Canoes altered which of the identical chutes to drop down, then skimmied the hydro jump before floating alongside the lagoon as they returned to the station. Now, this ride here in the video is called, what is it called? Imperial Logging. That one's kind of based off of Elder Scrolls. Whitewater Landing in Cedar Point was much faster and much taller than this appears to be. Now it says here Whitewater Landing. On July 20th, 2002, two boats got jammed together at the bottom of the hill When the next boat came down the hill, it collided with another boat. All 6 people only suffered minor injuries and were transported to a local hospital where they were shortly released. The ride opened the next day after an investigation. So I guess it wasn't too bad. So, it's a pretty slow ride. Many families can enjoy this ride together. It's not too fast, not too scary. Now I will be taking you through the Frontier themed area. I tried to make it look like it was in the middle of a forest. And, well, you tell me, but I think I pulled it off. Oh, here's the Ring of Fire. I see those at carnivals all the time. Yeah, but here's our little frontier area. I think it's called Sane-Filled Fort. So it's like a fort. I'm sorry, not Frontier Fort. That's what I planned on making it. Now, here we have the Minerville Mine Ride. Now, for many of you, if you've been to Cedar Point, you'll be thinking, oh, that's like the mine ride at Cedar Point. Well, exactly. I tried even making the building the same as on the Cedar Creek mine ride. Now here's a little bit of info. This is a very old ride. Cedar Creek Mine Ride is a multi-lift hill roller coaster that features short dips and turns through a lightly wooded area over a lagoon. The ride starts by entering a mine building, which functions as a track transfer and housing for additional trains, and then up the first lift hill. At the top of the hill, riders experience a very short drop followed by several turns taking place high off the ground until a large drop over the lagoon. After passing over the lagoon, riders enter into a helix and then out onto the second lift hill. After the second lift, riders again experience a short dip along some turns raised off the ground. The end of the ride features a double helix before entering the station. Now, double helix is just kind of like one of those twists you see. It just keeps going in circle, either up or down. This ride, Minerville, that I have built, features a ton of those. This ride was meant to be another family-friendly ride. It's not intense at all. It doesn't have too much speed. Very tiny hills and a lot of turns. What more could you ask for for a ride to take your children on or something? I don't know. You can't just have intense ride all over the park. I think that was our last ride we will ride for today. I am going to try and finish up the park and let you see some more of my roller coasters and rides, and hopefully find some more facts so I can share my experience and give you somewhat of a visual. I go to amusement parks all the time, although less and less the past few years. My grandmother is an amusement park fanatic. She loves them more than anybody I know. She'll ride anything, even at her age. It's crazy. She got me into it, and I plan to stick with my amusement park obsession. I mean, I love this kind of stuff in this game. If you have not played this game and you love amusement parks and video games, this is definitely for you. there's just so much you can do, so much custom scenery and rides. It's insane. As always, leave comments and, tell me anything in the comments, and I will definitely look into it. Leave a like, please. That always helps and encourages me. It tells me I'm doing a good job, And I will see you guys next time.